Goal setting. Goal setting, rock climbing and the Appalachian Trail or any trail are great examples of application of performance psychology regarding goal setting. And with goal setting, you can intertwine other interventions such as self-talk and relaxation breathing, and also imagery. So goal setting is directive. It directs your efforts. It increases your motivation to persevere. It also brings up new ways of doing things. You're able to create using your creativity to figure out better ways to get the job accomplished, to increase your performance. And also, goals are mobilize you. They mobilize you into action. Such as this morning, I got up before anybody else because I have a goal of 22 miles today. That'll be the longest hike I've ever done. But I've changed my nutrition and changed some of my equipment, and because of that, my performance has increased. So the Appalachian Trail or any trail or rock climbing is one step at a time. Each step is important. Every step matters. And your form is important to make sure that you don't make a mistake and twist your back or twist your ankle or fall off a cliff. So you got to get your process goals down first, which is the basic elements of each step. And as your process goals are accomplished, your performance will increase, such as increase in time or increase in distance or increase in just your overall performance in achieving your goals. And your outcome goal is the scoreboard. It's the ultimate destination for that set of goals. You don't focus on that. You'll eventually get there by doing the process and increasing your performance. But you got to have an action plan, and the action plan has to be detailed and specific. It has to be SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, achievable, realistic, relative, and time bound. And it has to be action oriented. Otherwise, you're not going to accomplish the goal. And so, goal setting, it's the foundational intervention for sports psychology. If you want to win, you got to do SMART goals and do SMART goals properly. Most people just say, I'm setting a goal to do this, and they don't have an action plan, or their action plan is not very detailed, and they don't follow up, and they don't track. You got to track what you do. If you don't know what you've done, how are you going to improve what you do? So track what you do and improve on the process, and your performance will increase, and you change your action plan to make that happen, and your outcome will be more successful. In the F-16, we would say near rocks, far rocks. Near rocks, far rocks. Because the nearest rocks, your next step is the most important. Not your steps to get up there. Your step here. This is the process goal, not to bust your ass going up these rocks. And the better you are at the process, the better you are at each step, your performance will increase, and eventually you will make it to the top. Your outcome goal, your long-term objective. You go one step at a time to get to here. It's supposed to be good views up here. You don't always get the best view, but you can still have satisfaction in accomplishing the goal. Warrior leadership is about accomplishing goals, meeting objectives, achieving greatness despite the odds, despite the elements. You have to adapt to the environment. That's what this is. Environment. Pretty gusty winds. Another quick clip on goal setting is expectations. When someone is expecting you to accomplish a goal, you're going to be more motivated to do it. For example, yesterday it was pretty torrential conditions on the trail. This trail was slippery, flooded, potential for falling and getting hurt. I went across the top of a mountain in high winds and rain, and Owen, one of the hikers I met on the trail, I had met on the first night, and then the second day I hiked 22 miles, and he was there probably an hour and a half before me, because he's a lot faster. He's 25 and I'm 54. He's like, "Hey, you made it." He goes, "I didn't have any doubt you'd make it." Because it was a long, hard hike, 22 miles. And so last night when I got to the shelter, he goes, "Hey, you made it." I'm like, "Yeah." But because he was expecting me to make it, and I was expecting him to make it, those expectations drove our motivation. Because we didn't want to, when you're a goal setter, you don't want to fail. I mean, you're not always going to succeed in every little process of the goal, of attaining a goal. But when someone is expecting you to, and you respect them as a person and respect that expectation, that's one of the keys. Because if it's just coming from a mindless kind of person who's just like, "Oh yeah, I knew you could, yeah, whatever." But when it's someone you respect and they go, "Hey, I knew you could do that, man. You got what it takes to go the distance." So when someone that you respect, who's in that sport or in that profession or who knows how to do that task, expects you to accomplish the goal, then you're more likely to do it. Now, if it's someone you don't respect, or someone who is not involved in your profession or your sport or that task, and they expect you, it's not going to have the same meaning. And you just keep going. Warrior leadership. You keep going, regardless of the circumstances. You press forward with a growth mindset. I haven't talked much about the growth mindset, but I'll cover it later. But it's about learning from your mistakes and overcoming obstacles to improve your performance and grow, versus remain fixed and stuck in the past. Sun's about to go down, but when the sun goes down, you still do the process. You just keep going. It's part of the process. It's been steep, but that's the process. Warrior leadership is about not taking the easy route. It's about the challenges. It's about not taking shortcuts in life, because you'll never be fulfilled spiritually, mentally, physically if you always take the shortcuts. If you always avoid risk, you're never going to experience life, and you're just going to have regrets. You have to experience life by taking calculated risk, such as long distance hiking alone in the wilderness, or rock climbing, or anything that requires a level of risk where you have to, one, trust in God, trust in yourself, trust in your preparation, trust in your anticipation of the obstacles that you're going to face, and coming up with a plan in the moment, heat of the moment, but you got to have an overall plan with backup contingency plans